Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We are finally continuing on with the main scenario quest line with 5.2. So here we are back in the Rising Stones. We're accepting the quest from Kryl and it's called Old Enemies, New Threats. Kryl is glad for your return, though it remains to be seen if she has glad tidings to share. So let's see how the others are doing. Claire, my, what a pleasant surprise. If you come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal ether. You mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the First and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Oh, Maxima! Ah, Claire, it has been far too long, my friend. It's good to see you. Forgive me, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador. I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Aldin, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict within the Empire. Yes, I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you had urgent news. Indeed, as you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of Garlean forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Ala Mhigo resistant to keep watch over the border. It is there that we welcome the most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may bell growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Aldin has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you will not be attending this meeting alone, though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades. I see no reason to burden a single Scion with all this. Yes, of course, though we must make for the Ala Mhigo quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two! You see how nicely people can get along with each other? Don't worry about the others. I'll keep an eye on them while you and Kryl are away. Really appreciate it. Alright, so we'll head off to Ala Mhigo now. And from what I've seen in the trailer, I think I know who's going to be waiting for us with this unexpected guest. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Oh, it's just been killing me for months now. So I really am hoping we get some good storyline here. This is just kind of them setting up the story for 5.3, but still, it has to be good. And I'm guessing this is where I'm supposed to stand. Stupid load screen. There we go. Much has changed since the first time we set foot in the city. Now we strive to preserve their freedom rather than reclaim it. But we've no time to reminisce, and we mustn't keep the commander waiting. Commander Aldin awaits us in the Royal Palace. If you would follow me. Alright, let's do this!
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark. Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions. We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima Weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals? With which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandanis, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima Weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days, but it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all, even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima Weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
So, there is a chance that they're going to make us choose. Way to lay that on us. So not only do we have to deal with this powerful weapon, we have to deal with our friends who might be stuck on the first for a while. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima Weapon, but with each passing day, the plights of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima Weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before running to the first. I don't see why we can't do both. And that's what we're gonna do. So, the way home. Kryla can see the steely resolve in your eyes and suspect she knows where duty calls you. I take it you're ready to return to the first? Then I would ask that you apprise the others of the recent events here in the Source, namely Xenos' return and the development of a new Ultima Weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them that Master Matoy and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal ether stable. Safe travels, Claire. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. Okay, so we leave the office work to her. Let's head back to the Source. And they tell us that we have to choose. Really? I mean, we got a good 3.5 months waiting for the next patch, so yeah, I think that we have time to do both. So we could take care of the Scions here first, and then we can head back to Ala Mhigo and deal with, come on, we all know it's the Ruby Weapon. So we'll deal with the Ruby Weapon once we're done here. I mean, that seems reasonable, right? Besides, time here is supposed to be faster than back on the Source, so we shouldn't have too much problems. What I really can't wait for is to see their expressions when we tell them that Xenos is back. Hello, Raha. It's been a while. You've come in a most opportune time, my friend. I made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and the means to return the Scions home. I trust you two have been making good use of your time? Oh yeah, you're gonna love this. Ill tidings from the Source, you say? Then I will summon the others that we might all be apprised of the situation.
Now that we are all here, what news from the Source? A new Ultima Weapon?
We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima Weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Eorzea and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white Eorzea, but without its regrettable limitations. And, after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both, that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within Eorzea or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allagan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
I wonder what that was all about. But yay, the quest is done. So there's supposed to be about 10 quests altogether. So this is the second one, so we got 8 more. And I think that's a pretty good place to end off for right now. It may simply be my imagination, but Lena has been rather brisk with me of late. You don't suppose she's still upset over that mishap with the salmon fillet, do you? I would love to hear that story. Upon White Orisite's crystalline foundation, we have built not a prison, but a refuge for the soul. Would that Moonbrita were here to see the wonders inspired by her research. Never have I seen such a repository of knowledge, a stark reminder what little we may truly know of this world. To think that we not only have Xenos to contend with once we return, but a new Ultima Weapon as well. Why must all of our enemies insist on returning from their graves? That is a good question. Why do they do that? Seeking counsel. Okay, so that's going to be the next quest. So we'll end it there, like I said. I think it was a good start so far. I hope everyone's looking forward to the rest of the quest line, and I'll see you all again soon.